My hair is not cooperating with me today. So Etsy is a platform that's notorious for a lot of things. Charging crazy high fees for sellers, poor customer service and buyer protection, drop shippers and resellers. Most recently, and in my opinion, the worst issue, AI generated listings. Today, I wanted to shed some light on the issue, why it's bad, how to spot it, what we can do about it, and give some commentary in general on the use of generative AI in the creative field. I'm gonna be looking at case studies within the crochet niche, but this applies to all art forms as well as other creative platforms such as Fiverr. So in recent years, AI generated listings have begun to appear on Etsy and their presence continues to proliferate. This is an issue for various reasons. Firstly, it's pervasive. AI products are super easy to generate, so you can just churn them out rapid fire and mass upload them. So of course, there's going to be more AI generated listings than real listings made by artists that actually take the time to design their products and make them by hand, losing visibility despite all their hard work. Just to illustrate how bad the issue has gotten, I want to do a quick head count on Etsy. So I'm gonna go on Etsy and search up crochet pattern and literally just out of the first few, count how many I can right off the bat identify as AI. Immediately, the second one screams AI. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that entire row. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Out of the first 52 listings, 21 I could immediately clock as AI. And I was giving the benefit of the doubt. There could be even more if we take a closer look. Half were made by entering a prompt into AI. The next issue is that it's false advertising. Most of these images are deceptive. AI generated crochet patterns are full of errors and inconsistencies. So when people buy because they like the image, they're often getting a pattern that gives them instructions for something else entirely. I wanted to show you guys a case study of one project that almost had me fooled, and it's this dragon right here. Like, looking at this now, I can see that it's AI, but when I first saw this, I genuinely thought it was legit. Like, obviously I know this one has an AI watermark on the bottom. They obviously used a software that like puts that in the corner. This is like well generated in my opinion. I did not realize until I looked at this video. Even in the second half of the video, like when you see the hands moving the project, the way the project is like moving and like kind of wiggling looked kind of legit to me. But obviously like at the start there's this like jumbled chaotic mess going on that was clearly AI. And also, if you look at the subsequent photos, it's pretty clearly AI generated. My original plan for this video was to buy a very obviously AI generated pattern and then make it in order to illustrate the discrepancy between the actual product and what is being marketed. But unfortunately, somebody else has already done that for me. This pattern is digitally altered. There are no step-by-step pictures and instructions, just a short pattern that would no way make the dragon. The digital photos do not belong on Etsy. It's false advertising. Thank you, Pauline. I'm sorry you had to go through this. They've also put an image of the pattern itself. If you just look at the pattern here, it's obviously telling you to make something very spherical that could not remotely resemble what these images are advertising. If you go to the account of this seller, it's all AI generated listings. All of them. So every single one is fake and is a deceptive product. And this shop has 107 sales. 107 people who were deceived, who were lied to, who were taken advantage of. Out of these 107, how many of them were so excited to start a big and seemingly affordable crochet project? They put aside the time, they gathered the materials, only to be frustrated and disappointed. And out of those 107, how many blamed themselves because they didn't realize that it was AI and they thought it was just their own lack of ability to follow the pattern correctly? How many people even quit crochet because of it, because it just caused so much insecurity and self-doubt? How many of these buyers stopped going on Etsy entirely because they no longer trust the marketplace, meaning that real artists that still exist on the platform are losing potential buyers? Now, I know that in this particular case study, there's that AI watermark, but AI use is rarely disclosed on Etsy. When you list a product, there's actually a box that you can tick that says, I made this product using AI. But from what I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't actually change the appearance of the listing. It doesn't actually say anywhere this product is made with AI. And as generative AI gets more and more realistic, it gets harder and harder to know what's AI and what isn't when there's these very loose, listing policies. Now, most people don't want an AI generated project. And when there's no transparency about what's being sold, how are consumers supposed to get what they want and need? To put this in a more extreme context, imagine if grocery store products didn't have labels. So like you had no idea what the nutrition was, whether it was vegan or halal or high protein, etc. It would not be fair or convenient, close to impossible to get what we want and what we need. And I know that these listings are cheap, but like it's not about the money. Like even if you were listing these for like 20 cents, you're still being dishonest as a seller. Like there are AI products that are very transparently AI, and like I don't know how I feel about these products, but at least they're not being deceptive, you know? You may still be thinking, why does it matter, right? So what if people use AI? I'm still getting a product for my money, right? There's many reasons as to why artists in particular are vehemently against AI use in their industry. The biggest issue is that AI plagiarizes. It's not just pulling images and patterns out of nowhere, it's sweeping the internet. It's taking conventions from real artists that exist on the internet and creating images out of them without credit or commission. And I want to show you guys this case study about Hayao Miyazaki, the co-founder and mastermind behind Studio Ghibli. You guys probably know Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro. I want to show you guys a few clips from when Miyazaki was shown an AI-generated animation experiment by a group of programmers. Just watch his reaction in these clips.
この動きがとにかく気持ち悪いので、ゾンビゲームの動きに使う多分人間が想像できない気持ち悪い動きができるんじゃないか。一応こんなことをやっています。
毎朝この頃会わないけど身体障害の友人がいるんですよ。そのハイタッチするんだけど大変なんです。彼の筋肉がこわばってる手と僕の手でこうハイタッチするでその彼のことを思い出してね、僕はこれ面白いと思って見ることできないですよ。これを作る人たちは痛みとかそういうものについてね何も考えないでやってるでしょ。極めて不愉快ですよね。そんなに気持ち悪いものをやりたいなら勝手にやってればいいだけで、僕はこれを自分たちの仕事をつなげたいとは全然思いません。極めて何か生命に対する侮辱を感じます。
まあ人間が描くのと同じように絵を描く機械を
作りたいんだ。
はい。
地球最後の日が近いって感じですね。それは人間の方が自信がなくなってくるから。
From these clips, you can tell that Miyazaki is very against AI, and it makes him very upset. Now, recently, there was this trending filter on TikTok that was like Studio Ghibli, and it would scan your face, and it would essentially create an avatar of you in the unique aesthetic of Hayao Miyazaki. This was a man who became a global sensation because of his unique storytelling, because of his unique hand-drawn anime art style, his strong female protagonists who were never sexualized. And there's this TikTok filter taking that from him to generate AI images. Miyazaki would have never consented to this, his own aesthetic being mass appropriated on social media without his consent. And this is happening to many artists. So there's this huge issue in the creative industry surrounding AI and consent and fair use. And it is profiting off of others' hard work and creativity. Like, being an artist is hard enough when your shit's not being stolen. I was having a conversation with one of my in-laws actually about generative AI in creative industries, and he said something that really stuck with me about how there's this indifference to the suffering that an artist goes through in order to create a piece of art. Now, obviously, suffering is a strong word. I don't think anyone should suffer, but to me, that's referring to the trial and error, the failure, the years and years of practice, the criticism and people telling you that you're never gonna make it, you're not good enough, but pushing through anyway. The processing of trauma by channeling it into an art piece through which you find healing and love and connection. The creative process is so haunting and unique and beautiful, and when all we care about is a finished product, all of that magic is lost. How many times has a piece of art become so much more profound when we understood the process it took to get there? How much more profound does like a painting or an album cover, a film become when we understand the motives, like what the director was going through? When we watch like the behind the scenes and we understand the dedication to get to that point. AI holds none of that and simultaneously causes more suffering, which brings me to my next point. AI is not free. It has a huge cost. Every time you enter something into ChatGPT, every time you generate a picture, it has a huge energy cost. It's not just something that like generates things magically. There's energy and labor. It's just so far outsourced that you don't see it. The energy required to respond to AI prompts is processed in data centers, most of which are located in the Asia Pacific, where labor exploitation rights are not very well enforced. We are struggling to keep up with our own levels of consumption. So these data centers are resorting to more and more carbon-intensive forms of energy. We also need more and more data centers, which causes deforestation and desertification. AI use is accelerating the climate crisis, and it's a whole new terrifying form of labor exploitation. So if you care about the environment, about animals, about us, our drinking water, our planet and infrastructure, our arts and culture, our labor rights, you should not be complicit with generative AI.
Something I forgot to mention is that these data centers also affect the quality of life of the residents living near them. I want to show you guys a few clips from this video about a woman who lives 400 yards away from Mark Zuckerberg's massive data center in Georgia.
This is our cold water pressure in the kitchen. This is where I fill up water for storage. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet.
Yeah. It's overwhelming because you really feel like you are up against this huge wall that you can't penetrate. There's nothing that you can do, and they don't care.
Facilities like this are being used to power things like ChatGPT.
During the peak season, our electric bill was maybe $250. Yeah. And now it's probably $400.
Your electricity bill has doubled. Wow.
It's been a struggle.
Every month it's a struggle. Jeff would like to retire, but he keeps working because we have to pay our bills. I don't think that's right at all.
And mind you, this is Georgia, like the US. Like, this issue isn't just the global south, the Asia Pacific. Even if you live in the West, this is something that you can be directly affected by. No matter where you're watching this video from, it is more likely than you think that this issue could come to you and affect your drinking water, your home, your energy bills. I highly recommend watching the entire video. I've linked it here and in the description. It's a very profound story, and it also gives you an overview of data centers, how they evolved over time, and why the AI ones in particular are very harmful. Because data centers do exist for like the internet, like for you to watch YouTube videos, but there is a big difference between the energy consumption of watching me on YouTube versus using artificial intelligence.
All that destruction just for these weird, uncanny, inaccurate, repetitive images when we can create these projects on our own and create them better. So, how do you spot crochet AI on Etsy? The first thing is low aperture. So, super blurry backgrounds, and the only thing in focus is the foreground. And even this, the edges will be a little bit blurred. The projects that are most likely to be AI generated are unfortunately amigurumi, especially the really small spherical ones. These are likely not only AI generated images, but the patterns were also written with AI. Points that don't connect from A to B, so areas that are mangled, yarn that just seems to like morph into nothingness, especially in the backgrounds. Like even in the background of that dragon, the yarn is all over the place, like it doesn't make sense. That's actually terrifying. It's way too polished and straight. Like the stitches are too uniform. Crochet is handmade. No matter how good of a crocheter you are, there's gonna be small imperfections. So if the lines are just like perfectly clean, if it's a curving shape like amigurumi, and the rows are straight, that doesn't make sense and it's a red flag. Generally, if you just get this weird, unsettling, soulless feel, just a gut feeling, I would definitely look into it more. Read the reviews, check the seller profile, because if a shop has way too many similar listings and each one has like a slightly different colored background, it's probably AI. Imagine an artist at home and they just have like 50 plus different wallpapers of like each with a slightly different shade. Like why would that be the case? I wanted to show you guys this one shop that makes me particularly sad, which is Flower Safari. If you look at their recent listings, it's almost 100% AI generated. But if you look at the profile, they didn't start out as an AI slop shop. Charming animals from African flowers. If you look at the banner, I love the projects in the banner, you know, they're cute, they're original. The designer here has so beautifully implemented their own cultural heritage into their work. But nowadays, all they do are these AI listings, and it just makes me wonder, like, what was the last straw? Like, was it burnout? Was it money? What made them go from something so beautiful and clearly was made with so much love and passion into whatever is going on now? I'm taking a closer look at their shop right now, and I realize that if you go to these AI generated listings and then you look at the subsequent photos, the rest of the photos are self-made. So like, why they felt the need to do this for their cover photo is beyond me. Whether this pattern was AI generated or not, I cannot say, but I don't understand why you would sabotage yourself with AI generated listings. Like, so many people are not gonna buy from you because they see AI and they're just gonna immediately keep scrolling. I can't decide whether that's worse or not. Whether the pattern was AI generated or not, they went through the work of at least making it. At least put the actual photo as the cover. I don't understand. Why are we doing this? But let's look at more signs of AI. No loose fibers. Yarn is malleable. It's gonna have little pieces of fluff coming off of it. If it's like super clean and smooth around the edges, it's probably AI generated. Glossy eyes, and just everything being way too glossy and shiny, especially the amigurumi eyes that are just way too shiny. Like, it looks like somebody like greased them up. Like, the whole thing just looks radioactive. Impossible physics. So things standing super upright, animals on their tippy toes, things balancing on one single point, and you don't really see like any strings or any table that it's leaning on. So those are just some very rough criteria. If you want a more in-depth video, Elise Rose Crochet has a video on how to spot fake AI crochet so you don't get scammed. I've linked it here and in the description for you guys to watch. What can you do about AI as a creator? Disclose the fact that your work was made with no AI. Put disclaimers in your listing descriptions, put little text boxes on the images of your listings. If you have a pattern, you could even say, like on the first page of that pattern, that no AI was used to make it. Be super transparent. Whether it's about AI or not, buyers like transparency. Show behind the scenes of your work, especially videos, because AI really cannot make videos as of now that don't look like AI. Any types of candid, raw media that show the creation process of your work is really good evidence that you did not use AI. Keep listing your work. In a sea of scammers and slop, real art stands out. Insist on your presence and keeping the platform what it should be, a marketplace for unique handmade gifts. And for buyers who want to support real artists, it's super discouraging as a real artist to see these AI scammers take the spotlight. What really helps for me is considering these sellers as doing me a favor. They are showing their lack of integrity and passion, which makes my work all the more important and special. Like, it doesn't really matter to me how good somebody's craftsmanship is as long as they're applying their own craftsmanship, you know? Like, that's more than what these greedy scammers can say. Have a backup plan. Get on Kofi, on Ravelry, make your own site, make a Shopify, get on Fiverr. Almost all platforms are dealing with the AI issue, so you might as well get on all of them and just have more visibility in general. Etsy's in the shits for more reasons than AI, so in the event that there's like a huge boycott, I don't know, at least you have other marketplaces to fall back on. And finally, and most important, please don't use AI. You have to make the active, conscious choice to be an artist, not a business person or like a crypto bro. Not a person who asks a machine to do things for you. Like, if you want a machine to do something for you, get a dishwasher. These scammers are here on a false premise. All they care about is money, whereas artists are here because of talent and drive and passion. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna take longer, and people on the internet and in your personal life are going to tell you to start using AI because it's going to accelerate your work, but you will go to sleep at night knowing that you're a person of integrity and that your work is valuable and your own. They can never take that away from us. For me personally, I would not buy something that's clearly AI because I would not put my time and money and resources into something that you did not put the time and money and resources to create. Like, why would I bother eating something if you didn't bother cooking it? That's a bad example because I like processed food, but you get what I mean. Judging by that last case study, I guess you could be an AI user and an artist, but like, you can also be a vegan and beat your dog. Like, you can also be a human rights activist and buy from Shein. Like, I could go on. Like, you're not biting the hand that feeds you at that point. You're feeding the dog that bites you and everyone. You're cutting down 2 real trees in order to make a fake small plastic one. I could go on. Okay, I'm done. The point is, please don't give into the AI hype, as hard as your work gets. I hate the saying that goes, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, no, I won't. Like, if you are in this industry, I can't think of a good reason why you would use AI in your work. Like, it's just self-sabotage. So those are things that sellers and artists can do. But what are some things that we can all do? Put pressure on these scammers. Report them for misleading listings. Message them. Make it clear you're not buying from them specifically because they have AI products and they're committing false advertising. If you are in the unfortunate situation that you have bought something only to later find out that it was made with AI, leave a complaint. Ask for a refund. Leave a negative review. Obviously, like, these reviews and like complaints should be critical. Like, don't send like insults or death threats, please. Put pressure on Etsy. Push for AI disclaimers. AI bans. Do you guys remember when Duolingo went like full AI and we embarrassed them so much that they had to like delete their social media? As an individual, you have more power than you think. And in general, stay in the loop. Read up on generative AI, have discussions about it. The MIT does a lot of extensive research on AI use. I will list some open access resources in the description of this video. And I know like it's not solely individual responsibility and we should be putting pressure on big corporations, but there's lots of things that you can do on an individual level. And judging by the energy costs of AI, you are probably making a bigger impact than you think. And I know it's unfair that we have to like put in all this extra work and like it's like an upsetting situation, but for me, I always think of the people that it affects and it motivates me to keep pushing and spreading awareness. Like, I think of the elderly people and the people who aren't very tech savvy, who are trying to adapt to the platformatization of art only to get scammed. I think of the people who are low income, who work extra hours to put aside the money for a special art commission or a project that they want to work on only to get scammed. The well-meaning buyers who actually want to support artists but don't know which artists are legit and which aren't. And of course, all the people, animals, ecosystems that are actively dying because of our energy consumption. It runs on greed and cognitive dissonance. A lot of my subscribers probably know me from a video I did a few months ago where I asked ChatGPT to write me crochet patterns and then I followed them. I got a lot of comments basically correcting me, saying that my prompts were poorly written or that I was looking at the wrong AI software if I wanted crochet patterns. I appreciate you guys for correcting me and please never stop doing that, but I do think in this one context we're missing the point. It doesn't matter how well written those ChatGPT generated crochet patterns are or how detailed or how much I like them. I don't think it is worth the devastation that it's causing. If I really wanted clout and for my channel to grow, I would have gone ahead and like done the same experiment on DeepSeek and then Snapchat AI or like whatever other AI chat rooms are out there, but I won't because I made my point in one video and to me, that's not worth it. Somebody said that I should have asked ChatGPT to find me a crochet pattern instead of write me a crochet pattern. I would have just gone on Google if I wanted to do that. Guys, you can call me ableist or bitter or narrow-minded, whatever. I would rather be called those things than use generative AI, honestly. Like, you can unsubscribe or dislike this video. You will never catch me using AI ever again after that video. I can promise you now that, like, my scripts, my thumbnails, my editing, it's all done by myself, and I would rather sit for hours and do that than have AI do it for me, because that's not what I believe in. It's also one of the reasons why I can't upload very frequently, but I don't care. And I know that like the YouTube algorithm probably has AI features and my phone has AI and like it's inescapable in this day and age, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to deliberately use it when I don't have to. I truly do not believe that AI is the future. In fact, I think AI is the reason why we're not gonna have a future. Like, I don't want all this automation. I just want to like live on a habitable planet. If you want to have discussions in the comments, please be civil and respectful. If you don't like me after this video, please just like unsubscribe quietly. Like, please don't be racist. I will cry. And also, if you want to leave comments, please write them yourself. Like, please don't copy paste from ChatGPT. Like, you're not really Like, we can all see it, and it's really embarrassing. Guys, I can't tell you guys what to do, but I can tell you the consequences of doing certain things, and I do want you to think about those consequences every time you want to generate a picture, and whether those pictures are worth the devastation that it's causing. I'm sorry that this was like a kind of upsetting video, but I really wanted to get it off my chest so that it's out there. I don't want to be talking about this again unless there's some like big change after uploading this. I hope this video was informative and interesting, and I don't really know how to do an outro still. I do want to say that this community has given me a lot of faith. I hope that we can continue standing for what we believe is right. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.